Pryvit.
Bonjour.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Brew, Season 1, Episode 90, a
Wee.
Yeg Music production. I'm your host, Marissa Kay,
I'm your other host, Millie Rouge.
and good morning. How you
Morning.
doing this morning, everybody? You doing good? I hope you're doing good. It is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week.
Yes.
And I'm very excited about that for no particular reason. Just excited that we're halfway through the week. Also, almost halfway through August. Can you believe it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, that's crazy.
I know. Like the
It's going to
summer's
be
almost over.
snowing for 12 months again.
No, don't say that.
I can't not think about it. It's
Although
okay.
the
It's
one
okay.
thing,
It's
the
fine.
one thing that's been helping me get through it has been
Christmas?
Christmas TikToks.
Yes! Christmas! So
Christmas
funny.
TikToks have been helping a lot. So
I've
every
only
time I
seen
scroll by,
I've only seen the Christmas TikTok side once. I never saw it again. It's very
really?
mysterious. Yeah.
Oh, I keep getting it. Every time I get one, I'll send it to you so we
Okay.
can fix your
Okay.
algorithm.
Yes, fix my For You page. 135 days, guys, till December 25th.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the best time is actually before Christmas, like a few weeks before, when you're kind of leading up to it. I think that's the best time.
Mm.
Because you're
Yeah, that is the best
celebrating and
time.
chilling with your friends. Well, I don't know how it'll be this year, but something similar to that. So we'll see. We shall
Yeah,
see.
well, and the thing is with Christmas time is I get to celebrate it like twice, which is really fun.
Right.
So I always look forward to
Yes.
it. So like Christmas for me goes until February. So it's pretty fun.
That's nuts.
Every time I scroll through it on TikTok and I hear like, just hear those sleigh bells, I'm like, oh,
My
ah,
heart.
my
My
heart.
heart.
I love it so much.
That's great. That's
So
very exciting.
yeah, welcome everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look at Reddit. For some reason, it's not letting me open Reddit. So I'll try to make sure I'm sticking with your comments here, guys.
Cool.
But yeah, welcome everybody. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
show if you're new here. This is a show where we talk about some music news. We go through a couple of segments about that. We talk a little bit, give our opinions, and then we review an album, which
Mm-hmm.
is super fun.
Yes.
Yeah, so Millie, I'll let you jump into the first little
Yes.
ditty here.
So the first article actually blends super well into our music review after this, believe it or not.
Mm.
Well, not to the exact extent, but oh, thank you for the follow, IMR Prince One. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Um, thank you for following on Twitch. So this is kind of surprising, but I mean, not really, because recently Ed Sheeran married his wife, Sherry Seaborn, and they're now expecting their first child together in a matter of weeks. Oh, after keeping pregnancy quiet during lockdown. Okay, I thought they had just released this news, like that she was just recently pregnant. I didn't know that they like kept it a secret. So this is from dailymail.com.uk. We're just basically, well, I guess if you want to say reporting the news, but we're just talking about the news. So not necessarily reporting, but they are expecting their first child together. Sherry is 27, Ed Sheeran's 29. They actually first met at school and are said to be weeks away from the pregnancy, of course. They are super, super excited, and they're getting ready for their last kind of few steps before the baby arrives. And lockdown, of course, is the perfect excuse so that you're not seen. You don't have to talk about it. But things were getting closer, so I guess they decided to start telling people and letting everybody know about the new arrival. So other than that, yeah. So if you kind of listen to Ed Sheeran, he recently took a break of I think last year. So an extended break basically to focus on traveling in his personal life, which he obviously did. The couple have been together for 5 years, and they tied the knot in a really private ceremony in 2019, actually. So,
It's cute.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty, this happens to everyone every day. Like, this is a very common thing for human beings to happen. So, but that's very cute, and I'm sure he's gonna be, he or she, I guess I shouldn't assume the gender, doesn't say,
Mm-hmm.
will have the cutest little, I hope it has the cutest little red hair, because that'd be so cute.
Yeah,
That'd be so
that baby's
cute.
gonna come out singing. It'd be
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding. Probably not, but
Well, I don't know if you've
that
seen
would
that
be pretty
video of
great.
Ed Sheeran when he was like little, learning how to sing,
No.
and he like can't sing very well. And he's like, this is a
Oh.
sign, like, because I couldn't sing doesn't mean that you like are failed to never sing again, like never. So like an inspiration story, if you will. But
Oh, I see.
yeah. But anyways,
That's kind of cute,
yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
That's kind of super cute.
I know, right? So
uh,
you never know. Maybe his kid will sing. Maybe they will not.
Even still, like that's pretty cool to have Ed Sheeran as a dad. So
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
I love it. Well, best of luck to them. I
Yeah.
wish them the best of luck with their new little baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said it that way. My accent, my terrible accent aside, let's move right along to our next story
Mm-hmm.
here, which is sorry, I had to get the coffee out of my throat. We have some Selena Gomez news,
Mm.
which is interesting. I honestly didn't know she was doing much right now, but according to CNN.com, Selena Gomez announces a virtual movie premiere for This Is the Year,
Yes.
which is interesting, considering that this is not the year, but it's fine. I would call it This Is Not the Year, but that's okay. It says Selena Gomez is inviting everyone to start a virtual premiere for her upcoming new movie, This Is the Year. Gomez and David Henry star in the film. I don't know who David Henry is, which is Henry's directional feature debut. That's pretty cool. Gomez is an executive producer on the film. I find like more people are getting into that production slash like
Mm-hmm.
director role, which is kind of neat that they're kind of expanding.
Exploring. Yeah.
Due to the pandemic, the film has to have a virtual premiere. The movie is about a guy who goes to a music festival to find the girl of his dreams. Okay, cool. Cool,
There you
cool, cool,
go.
cool, cool. I'm so excited to finally get to share the event trailer for This Is the Year film on my official YouTube channel and let you know that David and I are having a live virtual premiere August 28th, hosted by Charlie D'Amelio and Dixie D'Amelio.
Oh God.
So that's what she shared. And then she just like shared this cute little photo of the two of them standing side by side. Oh, that's her co-star from Wizards of Waverly Place. Duh. Okay, I knew who that is. Never mind. I'm dumb. Which didn't they play brother and sister on Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did.
Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Alrighty then.
Yeah, it says that right there. The co-starred as siblings
Oh.
on the show. Yeah.
Okay. That'll be interesting. Yeah. So are you gonna tune into it?
Probably not. But if I have to for the news, I will. But I don't know. I remember when Selena Gomez was like a co-producer on 13 Reasons Why.
Mm-hmm.
And I just regretted watching that show. Just being honest. But and I don't really care about TikTok stars. I mean, I'm sure the Generation Z cares about them and loves them, but I just I have other things I could spend my time doing. So probably not. But how about you?
I don't know. I mean, the movie sounds kind of interesting. I mean,
Could be.
if I'm really bored one day, I do enjoy checking out like movies that maybe not everybody would love. So I might I might look at it because it sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We'll see.
yeah,
We'll have to keep our eyes peeled.
so there we go. Also, sorry, I'm just looking at some of the comments on Reddit here. Super Soaker Surfer says it's Wednesday, my dudes.
It
Yes, it
is.
is. It is. It is.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
let's chat about our last news article of the day. Wow, time is just flying by. I was just looking at the time like, what? It's already this time? Crazy. Anyhow, we are going to talk about the latest music video that just came out. For those of you who haven't seen, it is the music video of Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know whose actual song it is, but and Cardi B.
I think it's like
Um,
collectively both their songs. They're both pretty prominent in it, but
but I feel like usually one person releases it under their name. You know what I mean?
mm,
And it's
yeah.
like theirs with the feature. I actually don't know. But anyhow, the song is called WAP. I won't tell you what it means.
WAP.
You can find that out on your own. But the music video has sparked already some controversy before even this latest news article. So we're actually talking about Cee-lo Green, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually from newsavclub.com. So let's hold Cee-lo Green to the same standard he suggests for Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and Nicki Minaj. So
Mm.
this song is a very sex positive jam, as it's quoted in this article. Um, Macaroni in the pot. Oh my gosh. I just read that. Um, yeah, this is what happens when female rappers release something that's like seen as, or not even rappers, just in pop music too, or any type of music, when they release something very sexual or something very ownership like of their own sexuality or their
Mm-hmm.
bodies or what they choose to wear, which is very similar to what male rappers have been doing very freely for the past decades,
Mm-hmm.
unchallenged by anybody else. So Cee-lo
Mm-hmm.
Green decided to share his thoughts about the music video. Um, hold on. So yeah, sorry. He was basically talking about his album just in general, but then he tapped in and kind of was letting his opinions be heard about the rappers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of music today is very unfortunate. This is from him himself, and disappointing on a personal and moral level. There once was a time where we were savvy enough to code certain things, and we
Mm-hmm.
could express to those it was meant for with the style of language we use. So, but now music is shameless. It is sheer
Mm-hmm.
savagery. We are adults. There should be a time and place for adult content, says the FU singer.
I
Yeah,
love how they put that in
he's
there.
one
That's
to talk.
so funny. Uh,
Yeah. So,
that's great.
anyways, it kind of just goes on and on. I don't really want to quote exactly the whole thing, um, but I don't know. It's interesting when people come forward with these opinions, and I understand if like a video makes you uncomfortable or if it's not
Mm-hmm.
your style of like expressing yourself. But for a lot of people, art is the way that they do express whatever they want, whether that be
Mm-hmm.
something owning your sexuality or if that's just talking about a heartbreak. And even people like Taylor Swift, for example, that clearly write all of their majority of their music about heartbreak. Then you see people like Ed Sheeran, who we talked about earlier, who is not being scrutinized for talking about heartbreak. But then you see all these articles about Taylor Swift being crazy or being, making success off of heartbreak. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
very interesting. The, I don't know what the exact word is, but it's very discriminatory, and I don't know if people intend to do it on purpose or if it's just an unconscious thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot in this article. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but what's kind of your thoughts on I guess Cee-lo Green speaking out and others, because there's been more than
Yeah.
just
I mean,
Cee-lo
yeah,
Green.
I know a lot of people have brought it up. Um, but I'm not like I don't know. I think sometimes it's just it seems like no matter what women do in the music industry, it just it all there's always something going to be wrong with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like, if we are too modest, then it's like, oh, you're a prude. Why are you not owning yourself? And then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna own myself. And they're like, that's too promiscuous. You need to cover up. You need to not sing about those things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of one of those things where it's like a lose-lose situation for you anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
it's you may as well do what you want. Um, and honestly, I think the nice thing about 2020 is that we're kind of coming into this
Yep.
era of women being more free to express their sexuality and free to express what men have been expressing for like centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's nice. It's empowering, and I think that it's long overdue that women should be. I don't want to say allowed, but just like it should be normalized, you know.
Yeah. Well, and
And
it's
honestly, like
mhm.
when I watch the video and I listen to the song, I'm like, it's it's nothing that we haven't seen before. I don't
Yeah.
know why everyone's so pressed about it.
Well,
Like,
that's what I was gonna say too. Is that if you've listened to Cardi B before, if you've listened to Megan Thee Stallion, this is not like out of the ordinary. Yeah, it's a little
yeah,
bit more than normal, but it's not like Taylor Swift talking about bleep. Like that would be maybe different, but these artists are kind of known for being themselves and just not apologizing for talking about whatever they want to talk about. So,
yeah. So I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's such a weird thing, and I mean, you know,
Well, I want to
what are
mention
you
this
gonna do?
last line of the article here, but it says, so the moral of this sad story is shaking your ass to WAP, which already has accrued over 70 million views on YouTube in a matter of 4 days, is a way better use of your time than turning to Cee-lo Damn Green for advice on morality. Preach.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I
So
appreciate that.
we'll leave it at that because that's a perfect way to summarize. So,
I dig it. That's amazing.
oh my gosh. But anyhow,
uh,
so for those of you that are tuning in now, if you don't know who we are, my name is Millie Rouge.
and my name is Marissa Kay.
And we do these podcasts slash, I guess, Reddit streams, Twitch streams every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Monday to Friday, we talk about entertainment news for the first half chunk of it. And
Mm-hmm.
also, we do a music album review. So that's what we're going to be jumping into now. We are going to be talking about the album we just reviewed.
Yes.
So far
Well,
this
we
week,
just listened to. We didn't
yeah,
just review
sorry,
it.
yes, listen to. So far this week we have listened to a folk album. On Monday we listened to a rap slash
Mm-hmm.
hip hop genre. So
Yeah.
today's album, I guess, would be kind of like a pop album, if you will. I actually didn't
Mm-hmm.
look up the genre, but I'm pretty sure it's pop. But
Yeah, basically.
so
And yeah,
let's chat about it a little bit.
you know, it was really funny when I was trying to research this artist, I got a little bit confused
Oh,
because I was like, is there two Joel Krauses that I just like I'm trying to figure out which one this person is because like
I hope
when I
not.
listened to the album, I was like, okay, this is very pop. But then all I could find was like country and I was like, okay, this art
Oh,
I'm having so much trouble. But then I realized unless I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm
no,
wrong.
you're right.
I realized that he used to be a country artist and then this is like his shift
Yep.
away from country music.
Yes,
And
you
oh
are
my
correct.
God, it took me forever to realize that. And I was like, I'm
That's
having so much trouble trying to find stuff on this artist. But then it was just right in front of my nose the whole time because I was just being silly. So a couple things about Joel was he's originally from Massachusetts. Joel Crouse draws from local music icons like Aerosmith, Boston, and James Taylor. By 16, he had already formed two original bands playing songs he wrote. His first Beatles-esque band gained a lot of buzz, ultimately broke up due to members leaving for college. At that point, Crouse was 17 years old and he decided to move to Nashville to pursue music professionally. Started playing dive bars and ended up opening for the likes of Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran on Swift's Red Tour, along with 4 years of the on the road opening for Darius Rucker.
yeah.
So he built up a fan base playing on the road. He said he tries very hard to bring as much honesty and vulnerability as possible to the stage, from writing about universal experiences that we've all had. And music for him is a shared experience, is what he said. So Krause's new sound formed free of genre walls, which I love the way that they put that. When songs would move me, it didn't matter what genre they were in. Lyrically, I'm inspired by people who took chances on their music. Um, so he says before naming people like Nirvana and Tom Petty and the Lumineers. Um, So yeah, and basically he just said there's one more thing that I found here. Um, where was it? So unfortunately, he said Crouse never felt entirely comfortable in the country world. So this success was somewhat bittersweet.
Hmm.
Um, but on August 7th, he released wasteLAnd, which he says feels finally set him on his true musical path. He said he found his voice again,
Nice.
which is so cool.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little confusing. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
so
if you don't know
confused.
him. Yeah.
But yes, that makes a lot of sense now. And I totally hear it now that I had like
Yeah.
understood that and read
You
it, I
can
totally
hear
get it.
the influences for sure.
That oh yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, really, really enjoyed learning about this artist because I felt like every time I clicked an article or I did some more research, I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, that's so cool. And he's like known all these people and he's like a very, pretty fairly
Hmm.
well known writer. And it's just really cool to get to hear this side of him that he's been, like you said, kind of building for the past little while and trying to get to that level of musicianship because I think it's really hard when
Hmm.
you are a musician. You're really trying to find your sound, but you have such a hard time pinpointing what it is, and it's tough because
Hmm.
it's not easy to that transition sometimes is really hard if that makes sense. Like it's sometimes it just takes some really deep reflecting that people don't want to do about
Hmm.
themselves to realize, like, for example, like, oh, country, I've met all these great people and I have all these opportunities lined up, but I don't even want to do country, right? So that must have been pretty difficult. So let's
Hmm.
talk about this album a little bit.
Yeah.
wasteLAnd by Joel Crouse. Yes. Course explains. So a lot of this is quotations from him because I thought this was kind of the best way to learn about him. But he
Hmm.
explained that his new sound on wasteLAnd isn't really a radical switch in styles for him, but rather a return to form. So, like he said, he came from playing a rock band in high school and he wanted to go back to playing the music that he played then. Um, once you hit it, he says, it felt like I was free. It felt like it was a release of all the different mental chains that I had on me at a time. So, really
Hmm.
cool. This record, I'm more lyrically connected to it than anything I've ever put out before. I've been holding on to these songs for a couple of years, and now that they're finally
Hmm.
coming out, I get to relive that experience of the songs through people hearing them for the first time, which is always really, really fun.
Yeah. And
Lyrically, he wanted, yeah.
oh yeah, so I there's just a couple people on Reddit who are kind of asking what's going on. We're listening to
Mm-hmm.
Wasteland by Joel Crouse if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, some people are browsing RPAN during a meeting, so glad that you're enjoying. If you want to listen along to the album, it's called Wasteland by
Yeah.
Joel Crouse. You can search it on Spotify. I can't put the link in there,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, go check it out and listen along with us as we review
Mm-hmm.
this album. So continue.
Yeah, so then he just finished up by saying, lyrically, I want to be relatable, but also want it to be my story. It's a very personal thing, which it always is.
Hmm.
So this was released August 7th, like you said. It's a 7-track EP, is what he said, even though I would probably consider that an album, but hey. Um, and yeah, that's kind of just the basis of the information I got of the album itself.
Hmm.
But there is a couple more things I got, like information-wise about this artist that I will probably bring up later. But yeah, specifically on certain songs. So I want to jump into the rest then and talk about kind of everything else that we kind of reviewed and learned about this
Hmm.
album. So when you hit play on this album, what was your first impression of this album?
Ooh. Yeah. Um, I think my first impression of this album, I thought it was really, really cool. Like when the first song kind of started, I felt like I felt like this was going to be a really interesting treat to
Mm-hmm.
listen to. Um, I was really excited to kind of hear what songs were going to be coming on. Um, in general, I thought that his voice kind of had a unique sound within this genre.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't quite know how to put it because his voice didn't sound like a typical pop artist.
Yes.
But now that I know all that stuff behind it, that totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that his voice had a unique sound on top of the genre.
Mm-hmm.
which is super cool. Um, and yeah, I was excited to listen to the album. That was just
Mm-hmm.
kind of my first impression. How about you?
Yeah. For me, I really loved the first thing that kind of caught my attention was the actual album name being Waste and then capital LA, like
Yeah.
Los Angeles land. I thought
Yeah.
that was really creative, and it was probably just a simple decision, but to me, it kind of summed up the theme of the album for me and helped to kind of see what he was writing about for the most part, if you will.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I immediately was drawn to like the vocal effects and the tones he had on the song Surviving. And I think that the opening track is a really good representation of like
Mhm.
a theme of 2020. And I don't think he wrote it in regards to the pandemic when I looked up more about it, but I just think it's could be used really well for talking about this year in our lives where everyone just feels like they're just surviving, as he says. So I
Absolutely.
really like that, and I was like, that's a good way to open up an album for sure. And especially,
Mhm.
I don't know if it was intentional or not that he put it as the first track, but I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that and vibed with that. So I was like, yep, this is gonna be good.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
I
so
I totally agree. Also, I said that just like really quick. I said that "Survivin'" was like 2020 the song.
exactly right, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. I want to talk a little bit more about some of the things that we really enjoyed about this
Hmm.
album. Um, so yeah, so the first thing I wanted to say, oh yeah, I said "Survivin'" was like 2020 the song or "Millennials" the song.
Mm.
But in general, like I enjoyed the melodies in all the songs.
Hmm.
Um, and there was a lot of really, really cool things that he was doing with the synths, the instrumentation, the vocals in the background. There's a couple things specifically that I wanted to talk about on my favorite song, but we'll
Yeah,
get to that a little bit later.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, the songs really ranged. Like I really
Hmm.
enjoyed the
I agree.
changes. Like I feel like every song was very different, and
Hmm.
I enjoyed that about this EP. Um, because sometimes you get that thing where it's very uniform, and sometimes you're like, okay, I get the gist of it. But with this one, I love the variety, and I think that it shows his expression really well and his creativity and how
Yeah,
he really wanted to express himself. So I very much appreciated that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think things for me that I really enjoyed, and they're very similar actually to what you said. Um, I said this already, but I love learning the backstory behind the song actually surviving. Because,
Hmm.
and I got this from a website, so I'll just quickly read it because it does really put a cool perspective onto this song. So,
Hmm.
his new single was actually released, like "Surviving" was released on in July. Um, it's basically talking about his roller coaster experience with the music business. So
Mm.
get this. I had gone from touring with Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran and Darius Rucker, he says. 4 years later, my business manager ends up going to jail. I ended up getting in this horrible deal that I had to fight my way out of. And at this time, I'm
Whoa.
broke too, and I'm on food stamps trying to survive.
Yikes.
I ended up going to write a song with Todd Clark, and he was like, "What's going on in your life?" I told him, "Dude, I feel like I'm just surviving." That started everything. I just started writing everything that was going on around me.
Hmm.
So I thought that was really, 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 really cool. I'm restarting it for the love of God. So I thought it was like really interesting because I kind of just saw it, like I said, as a pandemic song, but I was like, oh
Hmm.
no, this is literally about like basically that rise right before he hit like
Hmm.
his success. And I actually went to his Instagram and saw he posted a
Hmm.
photo of himself on a private jet, and he was like, this obviously isn't my private jet, but this exact photo was taken a year or something ago when I was on food stamps at this exact moment, but in this photo I look like I'm bawling. But it just goes to show that like not everything you see is perfect, and like people obviously go through
True.
hardship. So that was really, really cool. I could definitely sense that there's some inspiration on this album from Ed Sheeran. I think just because he's worked so closely with him, I think it
Oh,
kind of rubbed
100%.
off on him in a really good way.
100%. Yeah.
Um, he has really nice tone and phrasing with his vocals,
Hmm.
which is something that stood out for me as things I liked. And I liked how he stuck with his genre, but he wasn't afraid to explore with different effects and tones in different genres, if that makes sense. So like he would tap into some country sometimes, he would tap into some rock music sometimes, he would tap
Yeah,
into
that
the
was really
super poppy
interesting about
stuff.
this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sleeping Through My Dreams, for example, I got like a pop EDM style compared to his song On My Way that had like a true 90s Wonderwall kind of feeling. So it was really cool to just hear that and be like, that's so different from the last one. But yeah, I think I really like that because I think, like we always say with these morning reviews, like we love variety and uh, we love to hear that. And sometimes when we don't hear that, we're like, oh, you should have put that in. But I think obviously he's been in the music business for quite a long time, so he knows what sounds good and he knows how to write a really good song. So I think
Yeah.
that also really helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Also
Uh,
like super catchy too, which is
yes,
like pretty
yes,
sweet.
absolutely.
Um yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I 100% agree. I think like the you could definitely hear the genre influences as well, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um so was there anything that you wanted to do differently in this album or that you wanted to hear different in this album?
I actually didn't write anything. Um, I was like
Me
listening
neither.
for stuff, but I was like, I don't know. It sounds good to me. Like I don't. The length was good. The instrumentation was really good. Instrumentation was interesting actually, but we'll talk about that in a bit. And yeah, I don't think anything like. No, I don't think so. I think this album was,
Yeah.
and like he said, he wrote it for so long. He finally got to release
Took a
it.
long time. Yeah, it
Yeah,
took a
so I
long
think
time on
it's
it to
like
really develop it.
yeah, I think that's why there's no errors or anything I would change because I just think he worked really hard and he was true to what he wanted to sound
Mm-hmm.
like. And I think that's why it translates so well to like me, for example, and you, for example, because he just was being honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really
Yeah.
dug that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat. Like I was listening for things and I was like, well, yeah, I don't know what I would change because I think the reason why I like it so much is because it's like you can tell that that a lot of time was spent on all these songs and that they
Yeah.
were, very meticulously gone through and like even like the mixing was really, really nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Like in different songs I could hear different things kind of sparkle and shine and I really, really appreciate that about albums when you can do that. Um because I mean I mentioned this many times before, but the mixing and the mastering can make or break a song. I
Yeah.
find like it can be the best song in the world, but if it's not mixed and mastered properly, it just might fall a little bit flat. But this one, um, I think they were all done really well. So
Mm-hmm.
I also don't wouldn't change anything about it.
No.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, I kind of had things in a funny order on my list today, but doesn't really matter. Out of curiosity, what was your favorite song on the album? I'm very curious to know because this album's so diverse that I want to know if we ended up on the right track.
I think that I think that you might be able to guess which one is my favorite one. Do you want to try
Hmm.
guessing?
I feel like maybe I'll be wrong, but I'm going to guess Hum.
No, that was my second
Oh,
favorite though.
damn it.
My first favorite was actually On My Way.
Ah,
I know, funnily enough, I wasn't
was
expecting
that
it
the
to be.
breakup song?
Uh kind of.
Oh, no, no, no. That's not the one I'm
I don't know
thinking.
if it was a breakup song.
There's one that's like very specifically a breakup song. I just can't. I think
Yeah, no.
it's.
On My Way is the one where I guess it's more of a serious topic, but
Yeah.
saying like you don't have to hurt yourself and I'm coming, just stay right there kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I really enjoyed it, because it was super different and it wasn't what I was expecting to hear. Like based on the first songs that I heard, I was like, oh, this is the
Mm-hmm.
type of album that it's going to be. And then it popped into this one. I was like, oh, and it kind of like made me raise my eyebrows a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I said it's really different, not what I was expecting. I liked this higher, more vulnerable vocals on over the acoustic guitar. When the harmonies and the beat came in, instantly I knew I was gonna like this song.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really loved that synth line. That little do 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 was really
Yeah.
cool. It was both sad and sweet. Um, the we get down sometimes, and then as a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
I love the harmonies there. And I
Yeah.
feel like if the song didn't have those harmonies, it wouldn't have hit me in the same way.
Mm. Not the
Um,
same feels.
yeah, because like when the da da and then the harmonies just like went way over top and it
Yeah.
was just super light and
Mm-hmm.
and I was oh.
Yeah. Hello from
Loved it.
Romania. Hello. Welcome, Alex.
Hello.
Yeah, I this is actually the song that I thought sounded the most like Ed Sheeran, just because it sounds to me
Yeah.
like that one song, like let's see if I can think of it. No, can't think of it. But anyways, and I also just re-listening now got a I got another artist vibe, but now I lost it. Damn it, it's gone. But yeah, that's really cool because I did really enjoy this song, but this was the song for me the most that had um the biggest like different artist vibes. But I think it was cool the way he did it, and it still sounds like him. But yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
But my favorite for
absolutely.
sure would have been Hum, and I think the reason why is because it's so catchy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and the lyrics are really playful and they're a little bit on the sexual side, I guess. But I think the line, just like, I want to make you, is just like really,
Yeah. I
really
said that was
catchy and
tasty.
very tasty, very
Hmm.
spicy. We're
Tasty.
going to go back on that word. But I
Yeah.
really liked it. I thought it was really cool. And I mean, there's other songs on this album that I really like too. Like I liked Me. That's the last album
Mm-hmm.
on the last song on the album track. But I think Hum for me just stuck in my head the most. And I think to me that's what makes a really good song. And a song usually my favorite is when it can't get out of my head. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
To be
like that.
fair, yeah, I mean, that one is pretty catchy. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I could talk about Hum a lot. I really love that song. The first thing I wrote down was this song is
Yeah,
sexy.
literally. Yep.
I said basically what you said. I was like, I love that slide of the melody in the
Yeah.
chorus, like
Yeah.
the like
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Really good.
Yeah, and I said I love it when male vocalists get into their relaxed mid range where it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
got that airy quality, but the tone underneath is still super
Yes.
supported. It's
Yes.
just I can't describe it. It's so tasty. It's
Yeah.
so tasty. I
Well,
need more people to do that.
yeah, it
Please.
feels like it's not done enough. So I
So
agree.
good.
Let's
Yeah.
chat about lyrics from this album because, like he had said, even himself, the lyrics were something that he had kind of focused on a lot. So
Yeah.
I think, as Joel himself is a big co writer and he's written with some pretty influential people, and he's worked with bigger celebrities, you can tell he gets his pop music. He's got his pop music formula down pretty back. And he's been in the industry for, I think he's 27. It's almost half of his life, or not half, 15 years of his life. I think his lyrics. Thank you for the follow, burn a temper. I think his lyrics perfectly describe the shiz he has gone through growing up, being exposed to the music success at a quite a young age, and just the transitions he's gone through. So that was cool to hear because it's, as musicians, we kind of, not that we can say we've experienced that ourselves to that degree, but you can kind of imagine and put yourself in their shoes and be like, that would suck having a business manager go to jail. Like, that would not be great. I would struggle.
Yeah, a little
So,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said for lyrics.
Um, yeah, I thought the interesting part was like some of the lyrics were just like weird, but they were oddly like on the nose.
Okay.
Um, where was it? I'm trying to remember what song it was in. I wrote it down. Oh yeah. The in Interstellar, he said, "My heart is like a kangaroo. My deja vu is having deja vu."
Mm.
And I said his metaphors are so quirky, but they're so accurate. And I said, like, you get exactly what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another lyric that I really enjoyed from Me, just because it gave me a really interesting kind of spin
It
on
is
a.
a cool
I don't
song.
want to say it's a cliche because it's not really a cliche. I don't know if a lot of people use it, but the lyric was, "Guess I couldn't fly close enough to the sun. Looking back now, you were never the one."
Mm.
And
Ooh.
I thought that was an interesting lyric because it alludes to the story of Icarus, which is basically about the hubris of mankind. So that lyric for me is really telling of a toxic relationship and what it can be like where you try your best to please that person but they're just pushing you to eventually destroy yourself and make you fall, like Icarus did. So I thought it was a really clever use of that metaphor to kind of turn it on its head that way. Um,
I thought of the
yeah.
thing. Okay,
What?
sorry. On my way, I thought of the thing. That song sounds like that
Yeah.
song you and I always sing, the "If this sinking ship."
Oh, the you're talking about
Yeah, from the musical.
falling slowly.
Yes, we
Yeah.
still have time.
Okay,
Like
hold
that.
on. Let me go back to
Listen
that
to
one.
the
I need to
beginning of
listen to
it.
it.
Listen to the first like 10 seconds,
Okay, hold on. Let me
and you'll
just
hear
listen
it.
to this really quick. Oh my God. You're so right.
Like obviously different,
Totally.
but
Yeah, well, it's the same melody.
cool,
Da,
right?
da, 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 da. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but then
Like it.
then it sounds like Ed Sheeran, then it sounds like him, and it's
Mash
cool.
up, mash up, mash up.
Do it.
Sorry, I just scared Dexter. He like woke up. He's like, "What's going on?"
Where are we going? Where are we? What are we doing? That's
Um,
so funny.
yeah, and
Hmm.
also Burna Timber on Twitch. I do like AJR. They're pretty cool. Do you like AJR?
Who's that?
They're like a band.
I don't think I know them.
Probably never heard. Okay. Well, I like them. They're pretty cool, to answer your
Nice.
question.
Let's move
Um,
on to instrumentation, I think.
yes,
Yeah?
yes, yes,
Okay, cool.
yes.
What did you think of the instrumentation?
I thought it was very versatile. Like there was a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, I mean, in the first two songs, like they're very produced and very, like there's lots of beats going on. There's lots of synths going on. Um, so that was really interesting. But then you get to something like On My Way, and you've got mostly like acoustic guitar, but then you've got this like background drum kit thing going
Mm-hmm.
on with like some synth. It's really interesting. So I enjoyed that. Um, yeah, just like and also like the really really sparse but tasteful use of background vocals as well. I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were used in a really smart way in terms of just like making the song kind of float a little bit more. Um, I mean, the vocals were kind of what stuck out to me, but the instrumentation I thought was really, really nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually this is a direct quote from him that I thought was really cool about this album and kind of how it was created. Sorry, I just realized I turned off his music. I want to turn it back on. Um, so he said he changed his songwriting routine, switching from using an acoustic guitar to then playing the bass. So when he was kind of writing different songs, he would change instruments as he wrote because the bass is one note at a time. So I could really only focus on that note and I wouldn't have any other notes screwing with my melodic process. So
Mm.
I think the instrumentation itself had, like you said, a huge variety. On his chill, like ballad songs, like On My Way, for example, he had everything stripped down instrumentation wise. Like it was fairly simple. There was nothing
Hmm.
too crazy going on. But this kind of allowed for his vocals to have the opportunity to shine over. I don't want to say like overtaking over the instruments, but to float kind of over top of the instruments and just
Yeah,
really
to just kind of be in the
stand out.
spotlight.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
and then obviously there were songs, like you said, that were more produced where he wasn't as much the vocal that's area, but I think I just think it was really cool. And I haven't really heard anything like that with albums we've listened to so far. So it was an interesting dynamic, but
Hmm.
um, I kind of already talked about his vocals. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add about his vocals themselves.
Um, yeah, I think I mentioned everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
said on certain songs, like with where was it? I said "Sleeping Through My Dreams." I like how it ended on the vocals in that one.
Mm.
Um,
Yes.
and the melody on "Wake Me Up," with that half step in there. I think it was da, 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 or I don't remember exactly what it was, but um, I really like that half step in there because I think it mirrored the anxiety of the lyrics, which is really cool. Um, and then in wasteLAnd, I thought the dance beat was like super super bopping. and it
Yeah.
was super catchy. But then the underlying creepiness with the chord progressions and the extra floaty synths over top was really cool. The gang vocals in that breakdown gave me chills,
Yeah.
which is
They're
really, really
sick.
cool. Yeah, I dug that.
Mm-hmm.
I said in me, the vocalizations in the breakdown were simple, and I like the layering of improvisation over top of everything, and it just kind of keeps building and building and building and building.
Yeah.
Um, and it just, I said it sounded like when you're just feeling so sad and helpless that you're in a hard cry session.
Mm.
That's what it felt like to me, and
That's
I
funny.
just, I don't know how
Love
else
it.
to describe it. You know,
Yeah. No, I
you
love
know,
that. That's
yeah.
really cool. Let's talk about the album artwork and what we liked about it or not liked about it.
Hmm.
Whatever.
I immediately thought of BoJack Horseman when I
That's
saw
so funny.
this. Back
I
in
love
the
that.
90s.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can see how you saw that actually. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It just reminded me of it. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think?
Well, I think that knowing a little bit of background of kind of where he's from and whatnot, and the album name Waste LA Land,
Hmm.
basically, I think it shows a very like supporting case to what the album name is, right? So I feel if anywhere you go and you're looking to find people trying to change or alter their appearance or their image to fit in for their success, it will be Los
Hmm.
Angeles. So I think this image represents that really well, and maybe an experience for him of what the music scene is like, where it feels like everyone you're talking to has like a mask or like something they're hiding. And if you think about like his business manager, for example, that was technically the things he had told him were lies, right? And
Hmm.
obviously he got in trouble for these things, but I think maybe that was the intention of the artwork if I had to guess. I mean, I could be wrong for all I know, but
Hmm.
I thought that was a really good like display of kind of the name he had given the album, and it really tied it all together really well. So, and it's pretty artwork
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say it's really, really nicely done.
Yeah.
I think the other part to kind of build on what you said, I think it's interesting because it also looks like he's one of like three people in that whole place that don't have an
Yeah.
animal face or an
Yeah.
animal mask.
Yeah.
And so it almost seems like it's alienating a little bit, or you feel out of place in that space.
Yeah.
And when you, because he looks like he's kind of looking at the one girl who's dancing, and then there's another guy in the corner who looks exactly like Joel Crouse, but with a
Yes.
beard,
Yes.
sitting on the other side. Um,
That's funny.
so yeah, it was. It almost seems like it's trying to find those connections with whoever you can. Um, which yeah, just seemed really interesting. Um, yeah.
What colors did you see from this album when you listened?
Ooh, I saw
Because I had a hard time
like
pinpointing it at first.
turquoise and dark blue
Oh.
is what I pictured. Like turquoise, dark blue, navy, those kinds of looks.
I actually saw like the colors blue and red, but you know those colors you see from cop cars of the blue and red?
Oh yeah.
Like kind of that shade and that the brightness of those
Oh,
colors.
okay.
And I don't know why, but I imagine like in LA there'd be a party going on with those lights specifically, not necessarily cop car lights, but with those colors in like a party, and you walk into this big LA mansion and there's all these like weird colored lights, and you're just kind of walking around like, where the hell am I? Like that's kind of what I imagined for the colors of this. But I think if I was to recommend this album to anyone, I would say I would recommend it to anyone who likes Gavin DeGraw, Maroon 5, Ed Sheeran, basically any top 40 male pop. If you like that genre, if you like listening to males in that genre, I think you'll really enjoy this album. So
Ooh.
who would you recommend it to?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure. I think I'd probably recommend this to
Ooh, thank
anybody
you
who
for the
wants
bits.
to. Oh, thank you so much, Cosbox. Um, I have no memory of this place, but oh well.
I don't know what that
Thank
means,
you.
but okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I would recommend this album to anyone who wants to kind of expand their musical palette. I think that this is a great album to listen to try to get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And I think that this album is very tangible is not the right word. accessible, I think.
Yeah.
Um, it's an easy first listen.
Mm.
Um,
Digestible.
yeah, digestible, I'd
Mm-hmm.
say is like the best way to do it. Um, so yeah, I would recommend anybody to listen to this if you want to expand your musical palette and just listen to a little bit of variety and just kind of check out something that gives you a little sample.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think I would probably listen to this album.
Yeah, I had a hard time
Um,
pinpointing that.
yeah, I'd probably put it on at like a party, probably.
Yeah.
Um, or I would put it on in my car when it's like super late at night,
Mm. Nice.
when
Yeah.
I'm like driving on the highway.
I honestly just said I'm not sure where this would fit because it varies. Like it varies from sad boy songs to party songs. So I'm kind of like, I don't know where I would throw this
Well,
on, but
the other thing I said with this one, I said that it would be really great to listen to at night when you're
mm,
not ready to go to bed. Like if you
ah,
want to stay awake but you don't feel like dancing.
that's actually, yeah, that's a good description. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in conclusion, I really enjoyed this album and I loved learning the backstory of the artist of Joel. And I'm glad to see he's doing music that he enjoys and he's really happy doing. And it's just cool to see that when you know an artist worked really hard or went through a hardship and then they get to release this basically diary or masterpiece that they've written. So I gave this album an A, letter grade A.
Yeah, I gave it A minus.
Nice.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So if you guys are watching along with us, if you're hanging out on Twitch or Reddit, you can find us, the band Vienna Whyte, on Instagram at Vienna Whyte. So check us out. Give us a follow if you like what you see. We do podcasts / live streams of these album reviews Monday to Friday. We also live stream music Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday night. And both of us actually go live on Reddit to play live music every single day. So make sure you're following on Reddit because there's just lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff going on. So make sure you're staying with it. So my name is Millie Rouge.
And my name is Marissa Kay. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Yay.
And Millie will be on here streaming. What time?
4:30, something like that.
4:30.
I think it's
And yeah, so she'll be back around 4:30. So I can't calculate how many hours from now.
That's in
MDT.
5 hours. 5.5
5 hours.
I think.
So come back in 5 hours on Reddit. Millie's going to be streaming live. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
Later. Bye-bye.